Welcome to Simply Stylish DIY, where we take ordinary to extraordinary. DIY number 1, Pink Tulip Hummingbird Sign. Hey y'all, welcome back to Simply Stylish DIY. Today's crafts are all about tulips. I think you're going to love how fun and easy these DIYs will be. They will be perfect for spring and summer by adding a touch of beauty to your decor. We will be using pink tulips, greenery, and adorable embellishments to add a touch of charm to today's DIYs. So without further ado, let's get to crafting. Okay, for today's DIY, I used one of these wood signs that has a little bit of a setback so we can put our tulips in. Tulips of your choice, also some greenery and other florals, some of the brown Spanish moss, a little piece of a fence, a piece of scrapbook paper of your choice, some distress or Mod Podge, some brushes, and a sponge. Also a little hummingbird. We're going to start the DIY by taking this sign. I picked this one up at Joann when it was on clearance. It's a 10 by 10. Any size will work. Just make sure you get one that has a little bit of an indentation or a setback here, because we're going to put this piece of scrapbook paper in it. I got this out of a pack from Walmart. I picked this color because I wanted to use some pink tulips, and if the light hits it, you can see it's got some pink lines through it in the teal color too. So I'm just going to take that, lay it inside of this, and instead of measuring the center, I'm just going to take my fingers and press it down so I can cut out on those lines. Once you have that cut out, go ahead and just lay it there and make sure that it fits inside the indentation. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover up a lot of it anyhow. So we're going to take our Mod Podge, put some in the inside, just take a brush and put a thin layer on everything inside of it. Once you have that good coat on that, we're going to put the piece of paper over it. Lay your piece of paper on top of the Mod Podge. We're not going to put any on top of it because we don't want that shine. So we're just going to take our fingers and press that down good. Make sure you take a paper towel or a rag and push out most of the wrinkles. It does a good job doing that. It doesn't matter if you leave a few in, it just gives it a little bit of character. The sign that I chose has these wood slats inside of it, so I wanted to keep that look with my sign. So I'm just going to take my fingernails and press that down in there while the Mod Podge is still wet. That way it'll still keep that same charm to the sign. Next, I picked up this pack of fencing at Hobby Lobby. This entire pack I think was $1.99, but I'm only going to need a little bit of that. So I'm going to pull it out of the pack and kind of measure it off just to see how big of a piece I'm going to need. I don't want it the whole length of the sign where it's 10 inches. I just want it to be there in the center part. So I'm going to take my pliers and just snip that where the wire is, and then I'm going to set that aside to use it just a little bit later. I'm just going to take my pliers here and bend back the rough edges of the wire so it does not stick out. I'm just going to put it here to make sure my measurements were right so I can put it to the side. Next, I got these tulips. I think I picked these up at Joann's too. They have more of a foam filling leaf on those, and I thought this would work perfect because I'm going to shape it and make it look like it's laying on the sign. Any leaf would work here because we're going to make it have some texture to it and glue it down where we need to. I just thought this was good for my project. This section that I'm using has 3 tulip heads and then 1 big leaf. I'm going to add another leaf to it in just a second, but I wanted to measure to see how high I needed it so I can cut off the stem. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the stem to the sign once the Mod Podge was dry. I'm going to hold that in place there until it sticks, and then I'm going to take my leaf, fold it back a little bit, and leave some space underneath it just so it looks like it has been placed there. Once I have that little stem cut off to the size I need, I'm going to lay the tulip down in the center of the sign and see how I want the leaves to lay. So I pulled off another one of the leaves, and then I'm going to wrap that around there too, and then we're going to put some hot glue underneath them so that gives them a little bit of dimension. I love this 3D effect it gives, like it's just coming up off of the sign. So we're going to do the same thing and use these little pink sprigs I got off of a bush that I had. I thought I'd put them here beside of the tulip just to give them a little bit of pink pop of color. I just want to measure that to see how they're going to lay before I go on to the next step. I didn't want to paint this sign. I just wanted to leave it this natural, unfinished look, but I did want to distress it some with the oxide distressor. I'm going to use the ground espresso, dab a coarse bristle brush in it, and then we're just going to go around the edges of the sign. And then once you have that completed all the way around the edges, I'm going to do the same thing and just take some around the middle just to give it a little bit of a antiqued look. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the inside just to make that edge look a little bit more defined, just to give it a little bit of a pop. Now I'm just going to turn it up on its side and make sure I put a little bit of the distressor on the edges just so it all matches. Okay, once I got the distressor on, I wanted to take those two pink little sprigs and glue down here beside the tulips. I'm just going to take those, position them where I want them, and put some hot glue and hold them until they dry. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue in the top part of the pink too, just so it don't just stick out so wildly straight out and it lays correctly beside the tulips. Next, I'm going to take some of this Spanish moss. I picked this up at Walmart, but you can get it at Dollar Tree also. I'm going to take some. It's always good to just bunch it up where you're going to put it, if you're going to put it like on a sign like this, and get the position that you want it to be in to lay. So I'm just going to kind of roll it up in a little gob, and then I'm going to take it, stretch it out into the length I need, and then once I get that, just pick it up in one little clump, put your hot glue down where you're going to put it, and then position it back there, mashing it down in the places so you have good adhesion. Next, I got a little pack of these hummingbirds at Hobby Lobby. I thought these would be really cute. I wanted to give it a look like it was almost hovering over the tulips, so it came with a little piece of wire underneath it. I kept that on it. I didn't clip that off. And I'm going to take that wire and I'm going to put some hot glue on it, stick it underneath the big leaf that's coming up that we glued down, glue that to the leaf and the sign, and then it looks like the little bird just hovering over the tulips. Okay, next we're going to take that little piece of fence that we clipped off from the sections at the beginning, and I'm going to position it. I didn't want it to put it directly over the moss. I want it to look more like a 3D effect, so I'm going to position it underneath it a little bit. After I figured out how I wanted it to lay, I'm going to make sure that I have enough room with the moss sticking out from under it. This is a really easy fence to work with because it has the wire in it, so you can stretch it out a little bit. I'm going to put some hot glue on the back on a couple of the little fence posts and then glue it to the front of the sign. Okay, here's the finished product. I hope you enjoyed this DIY. This one was a lot of fun to make. I just loved how it turned out with the beautiful pops of color, and also the cute little bird. I think that added a little whimsical effect. It would be so easy to change out the colors of your tulips and also the scrapbook paper just to make this your own unique creation. DIY number 2, wood boxes sign with pink tulips. Okay, this DIY is a lot of fun to make. We're going to use some budget-friendly supplies and make a beautiful tulip wood wall hanging or door decor that you can change out with the seasons. There are so many ways to personalize this DIY. I think you're going to love the versatility of it. Let's get started. For this DIY, you're going to need one of the wood tags. I picked this one up at Joann, but Dollar Tree does have the wood tags. I just had this one from a clearance sale that they had. Also, you'll need 2 of the larger size crates from Dollar Tree in the Crafter's Square section, an ultrafine tip Sharpie, oil-based, some scissors, some tulips or florals of your choice, and some greenery. Okay, we're going to start our DIY off by taking our wood crates from Dollar Tree, positioning them on our sign. You want to leave enough room so you can put your florals in between and not be crunched up all together. So I'm just going to lay them here right now. And then I also picked up these wood hearts. I'm going to position them on the top of the little wood crates and also put a row at the bottom just to give it a little charm. Once I get those positioned the way I want them, I'm going to take some of my hot glue and just glue those down. Once you have all the little hearts glued on, I'm going to take some hot glue and put it on the back side of the crate and position that right above that bottom row of hearts so you can still see those popping out. And then I'm going to take the next one, put some hot glue on the back of it, just making sure that I have them lined up with each other on the sides and also have enough space between them to put the florals. Next, I'm going to take this brown acrylic paint, add it to a paper plate. I didn't want to just paint it straight on as paint. I wanted the wood grain to show up through it, so I'm going to take some clean water and mix it in. I had a little bit of white paint in this, so it just thins it down a little bit, and that way, and it also lightens the brown just a little bit so I get the color that I want. I'm going to put that onto a sponge brush. It's a little bit watery, but I'm going to use it kind of like a stain and do a faux stain on this. Once you get a little bit put on, take a rag or a paper towel and dab off the excess, and then you can see the wood grain pop through and it looks really pretty. I'm going to repeat this same process several times until I get everything all covered up. I'm going to paint all the the edges of the little crates, and also a little bit of the inside, so if they show through after we put our florals in, it'll be painted also. Make sure you get a good coat on the hearts if you put the hearts on, and then just do the same thing with your paper towel or rag. Just rub off excess, and that way you have a nice looking stain. Make sure if you're going to do this method with the faux stain, you just do it in sections so it don't dry too fast on you and you can rub off the excess. If you need to get any places darker, you can take your stain and go back in those places and rub it off with your paper towel, highlighting areas that you want to highlight. Next, just to give it a little bit of dimension, I wanted to take some of this ivory chalk paint. I'm just going to dry brush a little bit of streaks on it. I'm going to put a little bit on this wax paper, and then just take my dry brush, dip it in it, dip a little bit off, and then just do a few streaks all over the sign. This part's totally optional. I just wanted that look for myself. I'm going to make sure to do the same thing on those little hearts, and when I went over it with my brush, it almost gave them like a little highlight around the edges of each one. I thought that turned out really cute. Next, I'm going to take this ultra fine tipped oil-based Sharpie and go around the edges of the hearts, just like I'm doing a stitch pattern. I used the black. I had one in white too, but I thought the black just kind of looked cute to give it the stitching effect. I'm going to do each of the hearts on the front of the sign. After I completed that, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to make a little bit bigger stitching around the perimeter of the little crates. I chose to just do the top and bottom of the crates instead of all four of the sides on the front because I wanted to take the Sharpie and go around the perimeter of the entire tag. And I'm going to do longer looking stitches all the way around it just to bring it all in together. Next, I'm going to take this square piece of foam that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut it in half, and then we're going to put each half inside of our crates. Once you make sure those fit, I'm going to take some hot glue and glue those down to the bottom. Next, I got this eucalyptus greenery at Walmart. Dollar Tree does carry some really pretty greenery. I just had this in my stash and thought I would use it. I'm not going to glue any of the greenery or the florals into the box because we can change these out with the seasons. So I thought this would be beautiful for spring and summer, and that way it has good hold into the styrofoam, so there's no need for me to glue it in. I'm going to take a few of the sprigs off, and then we're going to start positioning those and arranging them in our boxes. Next, I'm going to take these pretty pink tulips and cut off some of the stems. I'm going to push everything up to the top so I can have all the little sprigs and leaves just to add to the box. I'm going to take several of those, clip those off, and stick them in between with the eucalyptus. I'm not going to glue those in either because I wanted this whole piece to be seasonal so we could change everything out with the occasions. I had this pink and green berry bush in my stash. I thought it matched well with the pink tulips. I'm going to do the same thing, just cut off a few of the little stems and stick those in between the florals. Therefore, I can remove these too. I had this little pink bush in my stash too. I'm just going to take a few of those little stems off just to add some more color to the boxes and just tuck those in some of the bare spaces. Once I have all the florals tucked into the boxes, I'm just going to take my fingers and pull things through and make sure that I have good coverage in all the areas and don't have any open spaces. Okay, I just wanted to turn it up vertically so I could see how it was going to look once it's hung on a wall or a door. That way I could see if I needed to fluff up anything better and to make sure it was all positioned equally and nothing was bare. This would be a good time too to make sure that you don't see any of the foam inside. And if you do, you can take a little bit of the floral moss and tuck it in there, or you can also take some burlap and tuck that in and have it sticking out in just some different places. That always looks nice too. Okay, here's the finished product. I love how this one turned out with the little crates and the pop of spring and summer colors. Since we didn't glue anything down, it's going to be so easy to change all that out for different occasions and holidays. This is truly an all-seasons craft that you can enjoy all year long. I hope you enjoyed today's DIYs. If you did, please like and subscribe. Make sure to leave me a comment below to say hi and let me know which one of today's DIYs was your favorite. Until next time, happy crafting! I enjoyed our time together. Thanks for watching. I linked another video here for more crafting inspiration. Be sure to check it out. Have a great day.